Hello and welcome to another TLC Tutoring Company accounting video. In this video we are going to be going over the cost method of journalizing stock investments. So the cost method is simply used when we do not have any significant influence over the company by investing in those shares. Because keep in mind, whenever we invest in another company's shares, we are essentially becoming owners of that company. And if we have, usually the threshold is less than 20% of the outstanding shares of that company, we don't have significant influences of what they are going to be doing. We don't have significant voting power. So in this case, we are going to be using that cost method because it's just a regular investment, kind of like what you or I might do when we're investing in a company. We do not have significant influence. So on this first one, we are going to purchase 10,000 shares of JJ Company, and Diamond Inc. is going to be paying $11 per share plus a $350 brokerage fee. All right, so on January 14th, we are purchasing an investment in JJ Company. So when you're going ahead and journalizing these, I would make sure that you're focusing on a few components. One, that it's an investment. 2, that it's an investment in stock, and 3, the company that you're investing in. So in this case, we are going to debit investments dash JJ Company stock. Now that dash there is very important. What that means is that we are not that essentially it means that we are using the cost method. You'll notice in our later videos when we go over the equity method, that dash turns to the word in. So it's very important that when we're doing the cost method, we use a dash. All right, so debit investments dash JJ Company stock, and our credit will be to cash because we are spending cash on this investment. Now, as for the amount, we are purchasing 10,000 shares at $11 per share, plus we are paying a $350 brokerage fee. Now that brokerage fee doesn't get its own account. We go ahead and lump that in with our debit to investments to JJ Company stock. So all in all, we end up spending $110,350 on these shares. Now the one thing I would recommend that you do before you move on to the next step is go ahead and readjust what you actually paid per share. It says that we paid $11 per share, but that's not quite true. We also paid this $350 brokerage fee, and that is going to adjust how much we actually paid per share. So let's take a look at that. We paid $110,350 on a total of 10,000 shares. So we actually paid $11.04 per share. So that $11.04 is going to be very important to remember once we get a little later on in this problem. So please be sure to kind of leave it off to the side and circle it, highlight it, so you know that you have to go back to that. For now, I'll go ahead and highlight it so I can bring it up later. All right, on March 1st, 2020, we end up getting a 50-cent per share dividend from JJ Company. So we have March 1st, and we are going to be receiving a dividend, which in this case is 50 cents per share. That's cash. So our cash will be debited since cash is going up. Now, as for the amount that we're receiving, this is going to be 50 cents per share, and we happen to have 10,000 shares, so we're receiving $5,000. Now, when we're using the cost method, the credit will be to the dividend revenue account. Credit a revenue account to make it go up. So in this case, we have a debit to cash for the $5,000, a credit to dividend revenue for $5,000, and we're done. All right, last but not least, on April 21st, we end up selling this investment in JJ Company. Or actually just a portion of it. We sell 3,000 shares of JJ Company for $15 per share, and our broker charged us $200 to process the sale. So let's start with the cash. In our case, we are going to be selling 3,000 shares, and we are going to be getting $15 per share, but our broker is going to charge us $200 to process that sale. So that means that's going to cut into our amount of cash that we're going to receive by $200. So you have to decrease your amount by $200. So in reality, we're actually only getting $44,800 instead of the normal $45,000 that we would get if we didn't have to pay that brokerage fee. All right, next I want to record that decrease to our investments account. Investments-JJ Company stock. Now we're selling 3,000 shares, and according to A above, it says that we paid $11 per share. But we didn't actually spend just $11 per share. We also had to pay that brokerage fee as well. So in reality, we actually spent $11.04 per share. So our investments account is going down by the 3,000 shares times $11.04. So it's actually going down by 33,120. Now you'll notice that I left a little bit of a gap here when I put in that credit to the investments account. And that's because we might end up having a debit or a credit here. It depends on which side is smaller, and this actually becomes our final plug for this journal entry. So in this case, we can see that our debits are more than our credits, so we are going to have to credit the difference. 44,800 minus 33,120, we have an $11,680 credit. Now here is where we get into what this plug is going to be to. It is either a gain or a loss for the company. Now in our case, we can kind of look very easily and see if we originally paid $11.04 and now we're getting $15 per share, that's definitely a gain. But according to accounting rules, just in case you want to kind of memorize this rule, whenever we have a debit plug, it becomes a loss. Whenever we have a credit plug, it's a gain. So in this case, we have a credit plug. So this would be a credit to gain on sale of stock. All right. And that's pretty much it for the cost method. There's some other scenarios that you might run into, so just keep those basic rules in mind and you should be able to get through it. So I hope you enjoyed this quick video, and I'll see you at the next one. And in the meantime, happy studying.